Today we're speedrunning Hollow Knight, which is a really cool but hard speedrun. Now we'll start the speedrun as soon as we get past the opening cutscenes. Right away we want to pause and then we're going to open up our inventory because that allows us to fall faster and it will cancel the lag once we drop to the ground. After this we're just walking through dodging all the bugs because we don't really have to worry about killing them, and doing up slashes because that will open up the doors without us having to get knocked backwards. We're also going to use a lot of pogos and do some small speedrunning strats like this one where we jump off the fly, so we don't have to go all the way around. We can go over that one as well, pogo that guy 2 times and hit the little spiky thing and make it through another door. After this, we're going to drop down into this area where we can just do a couple more jumps and we're almost out of the beginning area. All we have to do at this point is open this up with 3 slashes and move over to the right. Finally, we have the big door, which we just hit with some more slashes. It opens up and we'll move on to the first part of the game, Dirt Mouth. Oh, by the way, you might notice during loading screens, my timer is actually going to stop. That's because the speedrunning community made a timer that does that, so the speedruns are as fair as possible. Having a better PC won't give you a better time. But anyways, we're going through Dirt Mouth and you will see I'm jumping through it because normally you would walk a little bit slower. But after that, we'll go straight down to the Forgotten Crossroads, which for this part, we're just going to be walking to the left for a little bit, ignoring the enemies just like usual. Now, once we make it to this room, what we want to do is go over here, do another one of these inventory drops to make sure we drop really fast and cancel the animation when we reach the ground. We'll also go down here into this room where we're going to have a little arena battle and we have to take care of a couple of flies. We can get the first one with a few pogos, and then after that, we're going to try to use the spike, but unfortunately I did miss that one. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to clean these guys up, and I'll take some of their money as well. Then for this room, I want to jump right here and then make these other jumps so we can get straight through there. We will get hit, but it does boost us a bit forward, so it doesn't really matter too much. And next for this room, there are a couple flies all around. I mean, they're not too hard to dodge though. So we can jump through there, make another couple of jumps, and go over to the next room, which is just jumping a few more times to go up here. The path that we're taking right now is making our way over to the False Knight so we can get the Vengeful Spirit. On the way, there's going to be another one of these, not really boss guys, but they're pretty tanky. We don't feel like dealing with him, and thankfully the game doesn't need me to. Then for this part, you will see that the tall guy is going to jump. Usually if he was in a different position as one of the short guys, I would just walk under him and jump over the short dudes, but yeah, that part was a little weird. After this, we're going to get the False Knight to show up, and we just have to slash him a few times. I do have a ton of health, so I don't have to worry about taking hits, and all we have to do is take him out once. It's going to reveal his little ghost guy, which we can up slash 8 different times, and then he's going to jump over, have a temper tantrum, but this is going to be the perfect time to not fight him, because in this fight, you can actually skip the entire thing by opening up that wall after he gets upset. Then we're heading over to the left and we're going straight over to the Snail Shaman because like I said before, we got to get the Vengeful Spirit to start out this game. Pretty normal platforming right here, just going over to this entrance, and we are a bit low on health, so I will stop on the bench before we go and talk to him. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, I guess I'll help you out, and he gives us this thing which gets absorbed into our body. It knocks us out, so yeah, maybe we shouldn't accept random things from strangers, but it does give us the Vengeful Spirit, which is going to be our main source of damage once we get into late game. Now we're gonna wake up on the other side, and before the shaman lets us out of here, he wants us to take care of a mini boss. So first we have to go through and do a little bit of platforming. It's pretty simple stuff yet again, just dodging the enemies when we see them. We can also get rid of these wooden platforms. There's this cool part where we can hop this guy up by doing an up slash, so we don't have to try to dodge him, and there were the spikes on the ceiling, so that would also be annoying. We can also get a pogo on one of the flies, and finally make it over to this little guy, where we have to hit him with 2 of our special attacks. He eventually will spew out one of the roly-poly dudes, and we can get a couple more special attacks, kill him, and make it back to the shaman where he's like, oh, you already slayed him. And he finally lets us go. So now that we have the Vengeful Spirit, a lot more of the game has actually opened up for us. And we're going to be making our way over there. We can go open this door, which is going to put us right back in this room, and we're going to be heading back up. Now in this path, we do want to hit a couple of these enemies so we can start raising up our soul, because obviously the soul is important for our Vengeful Spirit attacks and important for healing if we want to do that later. But we definitely need our Vengeful Spirit attacks because we're going to see another one of these guys, but we can actually one-shot him by scrolling our screen back a little bit, and yeah, for some reason that makes him die right away. I'm just going to take it. I'm not worrying about it. So now we just have to keep making our way over to the left, which puts us into green path. Now for this, it's pretty much just keep moving to the left. We do want to hit a couple of these guys so we can get some more soul, like I'll jump and slash, and I actually missed that guy. We won't talk about that. But yeah, pretty much whenever we're not full on soul, we do want to get some quick slashes while we can. What what I can do right here is actually jump there, hit a couple of those birds, which will give me some soul, and hit through that platform as well. Then we're going to see Hornet over here. She's going to run away, but we can actually come straight after her by doing that little skip. Basically, what I did there was I jumped, and as I started descending, I turned my back, pressed the Vengeful Spirit button twice, and then kept moving to the left, which just barely makes us able to make it over there. We're also going to do the exact same thing right here. I will have to deal with this little dude, but this one is a very precise jump, which, okay, I barely got it right there. That is perfect. Probably the best I've ever done that, to be honest. And we will take a little more soul from these guys. This part is just a little bit of platforming, some annoying enemies, not too much to say. And then once we make it to our next little mini boss, what we can do is slash him right away, use 3 of our magic attacks, and he gets finished out. So yeah, we've been going pretty fast so far, and we have been getting some money as well, which is going to be very important because pretty much for this entire game, we're going to get just the right amount of money to allow us to go forward. But what we want to do in this room is take out a couple of these enemies so we can raise our soul, you know, just like usual. But we especially need it right now for this little trick. What I do is jump, slightly move to the left, and use 3 of those attacks right there, hit him with 1 final slash. That's going to kill him right away and give us all his free money. That's pretty much the fastest way to do him. I did mess up a little bit because you can get a slash before you get hit, but still pretty good. And now we can head over to the Hornet boss fight. We'll take this upper path, drop down here, slice this guy a couple times to get a little more soul. And yeah, we're doing pretty good on health, so I can be risky during this boss fight. Basically, for the Hornet boss fight, I just want to make sure she doesn't hit me. I'm going to use my magic attacks and kind of combine them with my slashes. What you can do is you can slash and then use a magic attack right after it, which will help us get a lot of damage really quickly. To be honest, this is our first boss. It is not a very tough one, especially once you start knowing her patterns. You just have to react to a couple moves like jumping over that, and as I say, you just have to react. I mess up like that, but she's almost dead. We just have to finish her off with 1 more slash. She'll run away, and we can pick up this, which is going to be the Mothwing cloak, and that's going to allow us to dash. So from here, what we can do is quit to the menu and go back into the game to be at the bench by the shaman. So now you'll also see we have the cloak, which is very nice for platforming, but we still need 1 more thing to really be good at platforming and to be able to do some really cool tricks. So what we're going to do is go over down and to the left. We have this little jump, which we can finally make up there, and then we'll be heading down to the fungal wastes. Right here, what we want to do is another one of these inventory drops, so we can get rid of that falling animation, all that, make our way through here as fast as possible, and finally head over to the right. Then there's going to be this room. We don't have to worry about that little mushroom guy because he doesn't start being active soon enough, and yeah, we can just skip past him. And yeah, pretty much basic platforming. This platforming actually took me a while to learn just because you have to remember every little thing going on, but once you have it down, you can do it pretty fast. Now once we get to this mushroom area, we're not supposed to do that, or that, okay, please, let's work with me. Anyways, we can use those to jump off of by doing a pogo stick, so that's going to be nice for our platforming as well. And yeah, we're just heading back down, but here's where we're going to use a really cool trick. What we want to do is drop down here, we'll do a dash and do another dash right there. Then we have to wait for this exploding thing to come down and pogo it twice in the air, which allows us to go into an area we're not supposed to be in. I love that trick. It was very hard to learn, but I'm very happy I have it now. And now we have to do another trick since we're in Mantis Village. First of all, we have to hit this switch, which is going to open up a door. Then we're going to use these mantises to pogo off of and make it back up there. Normally we wouldn't be able to do this, but we can just make it up there by getting those 3 mantises, and yeah, skip some more backtracking and having to do that kind of stuff. So there we go. That's going to be the mantis claw. And now we can wall jump. We're also again going to quit to menu and go back to the shaman. Here's where the platforming really starts getting fun because we have so many different things at our disposal, and yeah, we can pretty much the entire time just go fast. But now we're going to head back over to this room, and we're going over to the right just like at the beginning of the run. You can see that this room is a lot more fun with the cloak. Even if I did get hit there, we're not going to talk about that. And yeah, pretty much all the rooms are a lot more fun because I don't have to worry about being as precise as long as I have my dash. Now what we want to do once we make it to this room is actually go upwards, because then we can go over here to the left and open up the toll machine, which is going to get us our fast travel, and we'll come back here later. Then we're heading back over into this direction, going down where there's going to be another one of these jumpy dudes. But before we take care of him, I want to slice that 3 times, slice him 3 times as well, which is going to give us plenty plenty of soul before we go to take on Gru's mother. Now this fight is pretty easy. What you do is slash and then use your magic, and I was supposed to do it a third time, but then I messed it up. Okay, maybe I shouldn't call things easy. That's always when I mess up, but we can just take her out with a couple more slashes. She's gonna start exploding, give us 50 geo, and you can see that there's some weird stuff bursting out of her belly, which we can prepare to use some of our magic to take them out right away and finish these guys out with a couple slashes, giving us some more money. But we don't have enough money. We actually want 220, so I'm gonna kind of switch up my route, take care of a couple of these people, and also go in this building where we're gonna see our boy Sly. We're gonna remind him about who he is, and he's important to unlock because he's gonna be our shopkeeper. But anyways, now that we got that extra money, I can start heading over to the right, and we're gonna go into Salumbra's shop. Salumbra is the person who will sell you charms, and we have just enough money to now get the Shaman Stone, which is going to raise the effectiveness of our spells. So with that, we can head to the bench and equip our Shaman Stone. We have just enough notches to use it, and now it's time to die. Because I killed a couple people though, it will take a tiny bit longer because we have to wait for this guy to slowly start moving over, and that's because we want to die right over here. We'll let this guy take us out, and you can see that our little shadow comes out. Now we're gonna respawn on the bench, and what we can do is go over to him, slice him once, and we're gonna come over to this wall where we repeatedly wall jump. Then we can go pogo him and barely make it up there. That was actually like one of the scariest jumps. I thought I messed that up for sure, but you'll see that we're now in the blue lake, and we don't even have to do any platforming. We can just dash through it. And eventually, once we make it through there, we get over to the resting grounds. What we want to do here is slice that switch through the wall because we do have to wait for a small animation and go over to the right. After running a little bit, we're going to start seeing the dreamers, and these are the people we have to defeat to face off against the final boss. They're going to all show up in their ghost forms and be like, hey, we're going to knock you out now. And we wake up and immediately dash off the ground. That's because we want to spawn the moth a little faster, and dying actually does that. Now we have probably one of the most annoying platforming sections. It's not a hard platforming section, but it's hard when you're trying to go fast, because if you don't time your dashes right, you can just completely die, and I really don't want that to happen. So I'm going to be kind of careful with this just so we don't fall off and have to waste some extra time. There's only this one left, so I can do a couple of these jumps. I kind of just do a long jump and then dash after that, and you're usually fine once you do that. Finally, we get our chance to talk to the moth, and they're going to give us the dream nail, which is going to be the weapon that allows us to wake up the dreamers and break their seals. Now, right after we make it through that little text section, I want to start mashing start, and then as soon as that goes away, I mash dash and over to the right. What we can do with that is make it out of the building during the loading screen. And yeah, you can see it's just a little bit faster. So we're heading back through the resting ground now. Until we make it over to this room, I can do a couple dashes. I do time these very specifically. And then there's this dude. He always spawns in a different place. That was a little bit scary. But we can make our way over to the switch, which is going to transport us to the City of Tears. And there's a lot of stuff we're going to want to do in this section. First of all, we need to get a lot more money to finish this game so we can start taking out these guys. And okay, I didn't want you to do that. But that's going to give us some money along with some soul to collect some more money, because we also want to take out these two people. They'll give us a few more dollars and get this Wanderer's Journal so we can sell it later. We can then ignore this guy because I don't really care about him, but there's a bunch of people down here which I want to hit them with one of my spells. That's going to give me a ton of money right there. I don't know how this guy didn't get hit, and okay, I guess you don't want to give me your money, but yeah, we'll make our way down there and over to the right, because here is another one of these stations, but we're not going to open this one up just yet. Instead, what we do is this little platform in which we can just make it over here and get the Hollow Nest seal. It's another thing we want to sell, and it's going to be worth a lot of money. From here, we're heading back into this room, and this time we're going over to the left so we can take on our next boss. Well, after a little bit of extra stuff, because we do want to go and collect some money in the City of Tears first. Now we'll come into this room, we can take out a couple of those guys just using our spells, and then we see the gorgeous husk. Now, what you want to do for this fight is you want to pop her up with your up slash, and then we can hit her with a spell and get a double hit. That's basically when the same spell hits her twice, so it just lets us go a bit faster. Now, done with that room, we're just heading over to the left. There's going to be another one of these guys. Thankfully, they're very slow. And yeah, not too much to say right now. We can kind of take care of these people. I'm just trying to get some souls, so I'm not too worried about them. But we do have to make sure we come over to this left room because there's going to be a switch we have to hit now so we can come back through it later. Then we're going to take this elevator upwards. And once we make it up here, what I want to do is jump, and at the height of the jump, okay, I just messed it up. Yeah, let's just go reset that really quick. Anyways, what I was saying is we want to jump, and at the height of our jump, do a pogo, and we can just make it up there. That was a little embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. But I'm also also going to take some soul from those people so then I can use it on these flying guys. We just have to slash them one time and then we can use a spell. Now after this, what we want to do is hit a switch through the floor, which we can barely hit if we time it at the right time. And now we're in a completely dark room, but I know where we need to go just by doing a couple of jumps. And there we go, we made it up here. After this, there's going to be another one of these flying dudes, which we'll just ignore because I don't really care about you. We can take this upwards elevator, and we're actually going to skip this elevator because it takes too much time. Now what we want to do is we want to hit this ceiling a couple of times because we're on to our next boss, which is going to be the Watcher Knights. And we can actually take out one of the knights before the fight by collapsing one of the chandeliers. Then we can use our Dream Nail on a couple of these husks, which will give us some extra soul before the fight. And yeah, now it's time for probably one of the hardest fights in the game. Now first of all, we only have to deal with one of these guys, and he's pretty easy by himself. You can see this general combo I'm doing by just getting a bunch of spells in and also getting some regular slashes. We can take him out really quickly. Then it's going to spawn two more right away. Yeah, normally for this entire fight you have to deal with two of these guys at the same time. We just dealt with the first one so fast that they couldn't even spawn a second one. But anyways, we have to deal with both these people while also trying our best not to die, which is a lot harder than you might think. Actually, if you played this game, you probably already know how hard it is. But yeah, my basic strategy is just always have both of them on the screen. If one of them gets off the screen, they're going to do one of their jumping attacks or something like that, and there's not going to be enough time to react. We also want to time our spells so they hit both of them at the same time instead of just hitting one of them. I'm kind of just taking my time with this, making sure I don't rush anything, because this fight can be terrible. Out of all the fights in this game, I probably put the most time in this one. The scary part of it is that there's not much time to heal. The only time you really have to heal is when one of the creatures dies, and you can find some time when they're doing one of their rolling attacks, but other than that, I just have to play well. Like right here, I can take that time to heal, get a little bit more up, and now we're dealing with the last two of them. And I'm actually doing really well on this fight. Usually it does not go this well. Pretty much at this point, it's just completely focus up. I do not want to get hit by these attacks. The really annoying part is their jumping attack because it can be very hard to dodge. The way I do it is basically don't try to outrun it most of the time, because if you try to outrun it, then on the second bounce, it's going to hit you. So yeah, you just have to play this smart. But it does feel like they should be very close to being dead. Thankfully, that one canceled its roll over there. Sometimes that happens. And I also am very close to dead. I only have 2 HP left. Please, guys, I just need you to die. This is the part where my heart always, oh, well, okay, there we go. Well, as I was saying, my heart always pumps the fastest during this fight. But yeah, that actually went really well. I'm proud of it. So now we can head upwards, and we're going to make our way over to Lurian, the first dreamer. For this part, we want to start going on the elevator, but then we're going to send it back down so we can jump our way up here. It's not that much faster to jump up, but then we can fall down on the way back, which is going to be a lot faster than taking an elevator. So we're going to dream nail Lurian, get inside their dream. It's a pretty simple dream as well, not too much platforming, and we can up slash them a bunch of times. Finally, they're going to die, and we can use our healing button to like suck in their essence or something like that. I don't really know what's happening, but that's going to break their first seal. Now we wake up, we're going to head straight over to the left, hit the elevator button so we can move it out of the way and do another one of our menu drops. Then we can head into this room, go over to the left again. We can open that chest, which is going to give us a ton of money, and get the Hallow Nest seal right here. So we can head back through all these carcasses of bodies. A little morbid, but we're not going to talk about it. And yeah, now we're pretty much just trying to make it out of the City of Tears. So we can head through this long hallway. There's going to be a switch on the other side so we can make it through that door. And before we leave the City of Tears, we actually want to go say hi to our boy Lem so we can sell a bunch of stuff. And to do that, we can open this door, hit that switch so we can let the elevator go past us and go straight on down. Then once we're in this area, we have to open this door as well. We can do a couple of dashes over to the fountain, and that's where Lem is going to be. First, we do have to talk to him before we're able to use his shop. So yeah, he's just making us waste extra time. But then we'll head back to the left, go up the elevator, and talk to our boy, where we're going to sell our Wanderer's Journal and our 2 Hallow Nest seals. So yeah, we now have a good amount of money, but we need a total of 2,400 to finish out the game. So on my way back to the fast travel point, I will kill a couple of guys just to take their money. Like these guys in this room, I can hit this dude a couple of times, then use one of those to take care of those people. Thank you for the money. Still need another 40, but we'll get it throughout the rest of the game. And yeah, not too much to say about this room, just jumping over these dudes, normal stuff. Eventually, we'll make it back to the King Station, go back to this bench area, and open up the next toll machine, which will make the stag come. We do have to wait this one one out this time and hit this bell, then the stag's gonna come running over here. And yeah, he's gonna be like, hey, I can fast travel for you now. So we'll head back to Dirtmouth. From here, first of all, we have to take this little elevator, but then we can jump up there, hit that switch to open the door. And yeah, we're back over here. I am going to sit on this bench because that will be an important part to teleport back to later. And we can talk to Sly, which we can now buy the Lumify lantern, which is incredibly important for a later part of the game. For now though, we're heading back to the station and we're going to be going to the Forgotten Crossroads. But it's not really the Forgotten Crossroads anymore. Now it's the Infected Crossroads. You can see that there are much more insane enemies like this guy who, okay, I really don't want to die here. I want to pogo off of them to give me some height, but please guys, stop. I do not want to lose this run right now. We're just going to run away. Okay. That was way too close. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Anyways, another one of these toll machines. I am then going to heal up a little bit because that was way too scary. That's sad because there's some really cool movement right there. But you know what? I'm just happy we're alive. I'm also going to hit this guy in the face a couple of times so I can get one more healing thing. And yeah, we'll just be on our way. So this part is probably one of my favorite parts of the game just because it's so beautiful. There are all the purple crystals and cool creatures over here. Plus these miners who don't really like me, but I guess I don't really need them to like me, even though they just hit me because I messed up that jump. For this dude, we also have to hit him 3 times in the face, and then we can use one of our spells. Then we have all these dudes who shoot lasers out of their crystals, so this is kind of a scary part, especially when I only have 3 health. I'm gonna play this fairly safe. I do not know what's going on, but surprisingly, that actually worked. Okay, I'll take that. For this one, okay, I kind of messed up a tiny bit, but, you know, I didn't get hit, so I can't complain. I'll wait that guy out and then get hit by him anyways. But there we go. We made it through there. And now we're pretty much safe to make it through the rest of the crystal area because we can start heading over to the right, and we just have these little mines, which we just drop through using our inventory. Yeah, not too much to say. But after that, it's time for some more platforming. We don't have to deal with enemies, which is nice. And instead, I just have to make sure I don't mess up, especially because, again, I only have 2 health at this point. So there's going to be a lot of things that can kill us, like these gems, which are shooting out lasers for some reason. I will wait this one out because we don't have too much health. Then I can go through there. And pretty much the entirety of this part is just about patience. If you jump, you can usually wait out the lasers. And okay, I'm actually going to have to rush through this one. Okay. We made it. That was terrifying, but it is good because we made it to the end and now we can get our next upgrade. And this upgrade is going to be the Crystal Heart, which is a very cool upgrade for our movement. But now it's time to quit back to the menu, which is going to put us on the bench in Dirtmouth. Right away, we're going to use our new power, and you can see why this is nice for movement and why we needed to get it before we end off the run. We can use it in a lot of areas just to go faster, but there are a few places where it's actually required. We can drop down this area again though, but these flies are so much bigger and 2 of them hit me this time. That was a little annoying. But yeah, this entire place is infected right now, but we don't have to deal with it too much because we're going to be heading over to the left where I want to stop my momentum, and I messed that up. But that's fine. I still have plenty of health. That guy is also stuck down there. Did you see that? And I am going to play this a tiny bit safe by taking out this dude just so I can get the extra soul. He's going to spawn 2 guys when he dies. We can go heal ourselves up because this trick is very scary. What we have to do is use that power and jump at just the right time. I'm really surprised I got that first try. But yeah, that's a really cool skip we can do. And at this point, it's time to head over to our next boss. But this area is kind of annoying. There's going to be a bunch of jellyfish who just kind of sit there. But like pretty much everything in this game, if I get hit by one of them, I'm going to get damaged. And yeah, we don't really want that. But now we can make our way into this building, and it's going to be time for the Umu boss fight. Before that though, I will take a safety bench. I mean, to be honest, if I do die during this run, I'm going to reset, but I want the extra health. We can also see all these different jellyfish, which I can take out to get their soul as well. And yeah, my main purpose right here, just don't get hit so we can be as safe as possible for the boss fight. I will have to use the Crystal Heart right there, and now we can spawn Umu. Right away, we want to hit them with one of our Dream Nails, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't need to do, because the Dream Nail doesn't actually do any damage. It just gives you soul, and I was full up on soul. But anyways, what we want to do for this fight is we want to guide Umu to the right places. After they do 3 attacks, they should come right over here, and then they're gonna... Oh, that was not what was supposed to happen. Okay, yeah, sometimes this fight is a little weird, I guess, because we wanted to get Quirrell, which I don't know if I said that right. Whatever their name is, we want to get Quirrell to go and attack Umu so we can actually attack its center. And that did not work out exactly how I planned, which wasn't perfect, because usually what you want to do is get Umu stuck inside of a platform so you can hit them a bunch of times in a row. But yeah, it hasn't been working out the greatest. That's fine. I just need to not lose my cool, especially because this is an amazing run for me so far. And yeah, I really don't want to mess this up by just being dumb. I'm going to keep going with the plan. What we will do is hit Umu right here. And please, Squirrel, actually do damage. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how the AI for this boss fight works with Curl, but we'll hit him a couple of times right there. I mean, it's not going the worst. I've definitely had worse fights than this. The thing about this fight is it's honestly really easy, but it's hard to go fast in, especially when we're not getting Umu stuck like I'm trying to. But I mean, we already have a good amount of damage. It should only take 1 or 2 more tries. So Umu will use that attack again. I hope that Curl will come over here. Thank you. And now we can hit Umu a couple times. And please stop going in these areas. Okay, Coral, just do your thing. I'm gonna hit them, and please, game. Okay, with another spell, it should be their death, and it was a single hit with my nail. That's actually really sad. All right, not the fastest boss fight I've ever done, but I'm just happy I got through it. And yeah, now we can head straight down here where we're going to use our crystal heart again to make it over into this area, and we can see our next dreamer, Monomon, which we want to inspect it. Then Quirrell's going to come and be like, I got to break this seal and allow you to do your thing. He'll break the seal. We'll be able to hit her with our dream nail. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as last time, but this time we have the crystal heart, so I guess it's a little bit of faster movement. But yeah, we slice her a couple times, absorb all that essence, and now we have broken the second seal, which means there's only one left. And now we're going to spawn right here and not even talk to Quirrell because that doesn't seem like my problem, and we have to head out of this building. Unfortunately, whenever you do one of these dreamer missions, we can't do our normal thing where we just pause and go back to our previous bench because we technically just rested right there, so it would take us back to where we took out the dreamer. Now we're just making it out of the teacher archives, and this time we're going to be heading over to the left, taking out this little wooden platform, and this is going to get us into a new area where again there's a bunch of jellyfish. These guys are really annoying, especially because I haven't mentioned it, but the big guys, if you try to slash them, then they hit you with a really strong attack, and yeah, we're just not going to worry about it. I'm going to go straight over through the Queen Station to this area, and we're heading down here. That's going to put us back in the fungal waste, and yeah, we're not going to be in there too long. It's just a pretty simple part where we head over to the right, then back to the left. We'll do a couple wall jumps right here, go through all these enemies, and go down. Then once we make it to this area, we can do some pogos to make our platforming a bit faster. Then we can do a crystal heart dash so we don't have to worry about any of that platforming. Hit that wall with one of our spells to open it up, and we have to walk just far enough and then backwards, which is going to collapse us and put us down into Deep Nest. Now, Deep Nest, as you can see, is a pretty creepy place, and it's also really important that we got the Lumafly lantern, otherwise we wouldn't be able to see. So yeah, there's going to be all these bugs and things that we have to worry about, but I pretty much already know the path, so I'm not too worried. We're going to take this left path, go down, then go over to the right. There's going to be that guy, but a collapsible floor, so we don't have to worry about him. There's going to be another one of these dudes, just got to wait him out and go over to the right here. And yeah, it's kind of a linear path, I guess, as long as you know where to go. Okay, I don't know if that sentence just made sense, but anyways, we can drop down here into one of these ponds so we can heal up and get some more soul before heading over to the left. Now here's where we want to have a bunch of soul. I am going to hit that guy right there because I can heal my soul by slicing this dude a couple times. But yeah, I just want to keep myself at 3 soul so we can take out some specific enemies in this game later. Now we're going to do some just simple platforming. We don't want to get hit by this stuff. We don't want to get hit by all the spiders that are crawling around. And in general, just over to the left until we make it to this part where we want to jump up there. That spider, I don't even know how it didn't hit me. But there are going to be both the spiders on the ground and spiders that spawn if you stand still for too long. So pretty much for the entire thing, we just want to keep moving, which to be fair, that's kind of the entire speedrun. But we're going to be taking these upwards paths because there will be those collapsing floors we don't want to deal with. And once we make it to this room, we're almost done. I don't really have to worry about too much here. I mean, there is this spider, which I will kind of try not to hit, but yeah, not too worried about him before making it out. This will put us over in the distant village where it's time to get our final dreamer. We have to do a bit of platforming to make it up to this building. And this is a really weird spot where there's a bunch of people who I accidentally talked to, but they really want us to sit down on this bench. Unfortunately for us, it was actually a trap. And yeah, they're all coming towards me. Pretty awkward encounter, not gonna lie. After that, we wake up in a bunch of spider webs and we have to slice our way out of it. And yeah, we're in the beast den now. So yeah, this is another one of the scariest parts. Now for this last streamer, they don't actually have a boss fight, but these enemies are some of the most annoying guys in the game. This is why we wanted to have full soul, so we could hit them with 3 of our spells right away and hopefully kill them quickly. But if they do hit us with their claw attacks, then they do 2 whole damage instead of just 1. Really want to be safe on those guys. I'll get some more soul here because I have to deal with another one a bit later. But in general, most of this isn't too bad. It's just like trying to play pretty well. I will probably tank damage. And okay, that was actually terrible movement. A little embarrassing. But we're almost done with this. We're almost to the final boss. And I'm really excited. I really hope I don't choke it, but we're not going to talk about that. Anyways, we're almost done with this part. I will open this guy out because I mean, I might as well. He's right there. And I am actually going to heal here because I'm a little bit scared. And there's going to be this dude, which, okay, that is not what was supposed to happen. Good thing I healed. Yeah, you can actually skip this guy, but I'm playing really badly. It's probably the nerves because this is a very good run, but okay, I'm gonna let him slice me 2 times so I can jump over him. And that was a bit scary, but now I have to play this next part really well because there's gonna be this one last dude. It is not worth it to heal up at all because I would have to heal twice and I might as well use that for my spells. We're just gonna hope we don't get hit. And this is gonna be a pretty slow battle. Pretty much the only thing you can do when you don't have spells is hit them once and then run away because we do not want to get hit by those claws. All right, there we go. Thank you. I was so scared about that part. Anyways, it's finally time to deal with Hera, our last streamer, which yeah, we just sliced them a couple times, absorb all of their essence, and that's going to be the final seal broken. Now we wake up and all we have to do is make our way outside of the beast den so we can fast travel back to the start of the game and make our way to the temple to face off against the final boss. So yeah, pretty simple platforming. Luckily, there's not really any more enemies we have to deal with. There are those guys who are dead. I don't know if we killed them or if someone else killed them, but I mean, something did it. And I can just make my way up here so I can get to our last stag station, which is going to cost us 250 geo. And now we're going to Dirtmouth. From here, we're going to take the same path at first, just back down this well. But this time we are finally heading over to the right. What I can do is jump right there, and then we're going to use our crystal heart to be able to skip all of the platforming and make it into the building, which is going to be the Temple of the Black Egg. Immediately, once we make it over here, it sees that all the seals are broken and we can go inside, which yeah, it's a bit intimidating, but we should be fine. And finally, it is time for the fight, which can make or break my speedrun. Yeah, this is a pretty stressful one. But before we get on to the actual fighting, we have to take care of these chains. You just have to up slash each of them 4 times. Pretty easy stuff. And now it's finally time to take on the Hollow Knight. So for this fight, what I want to do is I slash him 1 time normally, then I do a jump slash to make sure he doesn't hit me with any of his quick attacks. So you'll see I do 1 slash, a jump slash, I might use a pogo or something like that. And every once in a while, when we do enough damage, he's gonna stagger, which either gives us time to heal or do a slash into a spell. He has a couple of attacks right now. They're not the hardest ones. Probably the hardest one out of this bunch is going to be the parry. And then once we get him far enough, he's going to use that attack, which is very annoying. I hate that attack, but yeah, we're just going to have to focus up. This guy, he can do a lot of damage to you really fast, especially if you lose your calm. So I just got to play this smart. I will heal up there just to make sure I'm safe. He uses 2 parries in a row, which is really annoying. Uses this attack again, and then twice. Thanks a lot, man. But it's going pretty well so far. That is one of the attacks which is probably the easiest to dodge, so I always like seeing that one. We can do a couple of pogos, and I show him my butt just to make fun of him as I heal up a little bit. I mean, in general, it's just about staying airborne in this fight, getting in your damage while you can, showing him your butt while you can, all that kind of stuff. But he should only have a little bit of more health left, and there we go. Okay, now once we got him into this stage, he's gonna stab himself a bunch of times, which gives us a chance to get a ton of soul. And this is when you know you're close to beating him. I mean, not too close. We still have a good amount of the fight left, but he gets really enraged. I mean, the actual in-game lore reason is that the Hollow Knight gets a moment of clarity and decides to help us kill him. But yeah, just play the game yourself if you want to understand the lore. It's some cool stuff. But this is an interesting attack because what we can do is not that. Okay, thank you for stabbing yourself. I appreciate that. I'll explain that attack in a little bit. I do know he is incredibly close to dying, though. I can actually jump over that one because I was prepared for it. And this attack is one of the most annoying attacks. So he goes and spews all over the place, but I actually dodged it all, so I'm very proud of myself. Please stop using your parries. And anyways, this is the attack I was talking about. What we want to do is walk into one direction and hit him while he's dropping down. But finally, you'll see he does another one of these long screams, and that means he's going to be weak. So yeah, he doesn't really have much in him. His slashes are very pathetic at this point. We just hit him with a couple of these. He can't really do too much. This is the part of the fight where you really don't want to die at because it would be kind of embarrassing. But there we go. That's the Hollow Knight done. We still have to actually finish out the speedrun though, because he gets into this part and we can start sucking in that essence. But eventually it gets to the point where the screen goes black and my auto splitter will split right there to give us the time of 48:40. That's also going to tie us for 427th place on speedrun.com, and I'll take it. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.